not sure exactly how long I'd been in love with Luke. We'd been close friends for over 3 years in a sibling sort of way that made me feel ashamed for wanting to throw myself at him naked from time to time. I met Luke through Teach for America during our first summer of teacher training, and I found over time that I loved almost everything about him. His extensive, excessive shoe collection, how he could tell you the personal histories of every Game of Thrones character, his strange obsession with anything related to the Denver Broncos, or the way I could never really tell whether he was laughing with me or at me. Regardless, I was head over heels crazy for him, and today he was delivering the biggest slap in the face of all our years together. He was bringing his new girlfriend, the other Jessica, to the polo match. It was bad enough that she shared my name, and even worse, that her voice sounded like she had sucked the helium out of so many balloons that it got permanently stuck that way. But now he was bringing her around all of our friends to one of the biggest parties of the year. Our friend group was always looking for ways to make Houston seem more interesting, whether it was a doubles pool volleyball tournament, Jaws backyard movie quote-along, a Texas barbecue pilgrimage, or a Game of Thrones themed day, complete with the board game, book recipes, and binge-watching season 1. Again, Houston can be full of surprise discoveries, and our most recent discovery, as well as the theme for today's party, was based on a Groupon someone found for a local polo match. Who knew Houston had polo matches? In honor of this incredible discovery, our friend group decided that we would host a classy brunch party for all our teacher friends before heading to the polo match. The main dish of the brunch would, of course, be an alcoholic lemonade concoction called Gin Bucket. several gallons of Gin Bucket. It was a Sunday, and since the party was full of teachers, it was imperative that the party start and end early so we could all make our 8 p.m. bedtimes. Luke and other Jessica were exceptionally late for the 10 a.m. start time, and by the time they arrived to brunch, I had worked through several solo cups of Gin Bucket. I saw them walk in the gate from across the yard. Luke, wearing his blue and orange Adidas, with a blue button-down and khakis. Oof, I loved the way he looked in those shoes. Other Jessica was wearing a white sundress, absent of the broad-rimmed polo hat all our other TFA friends were wearing, a sure sign that she wouldn't fit in already. The party turned out to be bigger than expected, with nearly 30 of our closest teacher friends, so maybe I wouldn't have to talk to Luke and other Jessica at all. Several courses of Gin Bucket and an Uber ride later, I found myself sitting next to other Jessica at the polo match. My goal of avoiding her failed miserably, despite my having used the restroom way too many times whenever I saw her walking my way. I even engaged in a serious haiku writing session with our neighbors, which resulted in the creation of an epic poem that other Jessica would never understand or much less be a part of. In spite of my efforts to avoid her, we somehow ended up in the same Uber, and thus in the same row of seats at the polo match. Cringing at every squeak that came out of her mouth, I tried to pretend to be interested in her stories about her students, and hoping I wasn't too obviously and overly excited about her stories involving Luke. I tried to focus on the match and the bottle of sparkling wine I had bought for myself. Perhaps it would drown out the high-pitched squeals that kept coming from her mouth. Who thought we'd enjoy going to a polo match anyway? Truthfully, I had no idea what was going on, and wish we had just stayed at the brunch party where the rest of the gin was waiting. Luke came back from the bar and sat on the opposite side of other Jessica. As he handed her a glass of sparkling wine, our eyes met for the first time that day. In that moment, I decided I should tell Luke how much I loved him and his shoe collection, how much I hated other Jessica, and how much it hurt to see him there with her. As these thoughts ran through my head, his gaze into my eyes became more focused, almost concerned. I thought that maybe, after all our years of friendship, he could actually read what I was thinking. I opened my mouth to tell him something. Let me be the Circe to your Jamie. No, that wasn't right. No. Or the Daenerys to your Drogo. No, that wasn't right either. As I struggled over the right thing to say, something else, words I didn't understand, came spilling out of my mouth. No, it was vomit that came spilling out of my mouth. All over other Jessica. The rest of the day is less vivid, as I soon passed out, needing to be carried back to the Uber and into my house by Luke and other Jessica. Coincidentally or not, Luke's relationship with other Jessica did not last much longer after that day. What I do still remember clearly is my second greatest accomplishment of that day, after breaking up Luke and other Jessica, of course, the creation of a clever motto and haiku. YOLO, YOLO, yo. Shit shows YOLO for polo Sunday afternoon. Thank you.